In this video, we'll have a more in-depth analysis on some of Hilda and Grapploct. So she's a fighting support and she's weak to psychic. For stats, she has high HP, high defense, special defense, attack, special attack kinda irrelevant, speed is kinda bad. So for passive, the first one is Team Beef Up 9. You plus 1 attack every time you get hit. It's pretty good. You can have some attack buff. Second passive is Natural Remedy. You remove any status condition from the user the first time it is inflicted. The passive is Catalytic Infliction. You apply move acceleration when you use a status move, only one time as well. So for the moves, the first one is Brick Break. 2 gauge, basically can remove Reflect and Light Screen, which can be useful in Chamber Stadium. Next move is Protect. Pretty good, you apply a damage card, next effect. Basically you have a free block, right? And the best part about this is that it's a one-turn move, it's not like Obstruct. It's not like King Shield, right? Where it's like 2-turn move where you will screw up the move queue, the same countdown. So Protect, you just apply. It's only one use. Next up is Topsy Turvy, 2 uses, 2 gauge. Basically it turns any stat buffs into stat debuffs. So for example, if your opponent has plus 6 attack, it will become minus 6 attack. Doesn't work for crit, which is a bit sad. When the move is Crit Gutsy, you plus 2 defense with defense to all your allies. And then apply Gradual Heal to the user. I don't know why they made it to a user only, which kinda sucks. Well, it'd be nice if it's to the entire team, but it is what it is. Trainer move is Never Give Up Fighting Impact. Regular sing move. So overall, for her base kit, she's just okay. She's okay. Basically, the only thing she does at 1 out of 5 is tank, and I guess Topsy Turvy is kinda useful as well. Also quite situational, a bit unfortunate, but still, that's really all she does at 1 out of 5. She does get better with the crit though. And one thing I want to point out is that Topsy Turvy is very good against legendary arena like Latias and Gracilia, but the funny thing is she is weak to Psychic, which is, you know, Gracilia, Latias both have Psychic sing move, kinda sucks, but yeah, it's very unfortunate. Let's move on to the sing grade. So at 1 out of 5 she gets Topsy Turvy MGR3, kinda whatever. Unflappable can be useful, MGR3 for Protect, kinda whatever as well. 2 out of 5, 2 out of 5 you get some pretty good stuff. You get Staggering 2 from Brick Break, 30% chance of flinch, Charging Infliction 1, you plus 1 gauge when you use a status move, basically Protect and Topsy Turvy, right? MPR 2 for Topsy Turvy, kinda whatever. Typically you don't really need to use that many times in a battle, so it's not really that useful. 2 times is more than enough. Get Gutsy MPR 2, this is really good. With MPR you can max defense with defense, so she's gonna be an even better tank with max defense with defense. And she has first aid 4 for even more tankiness. Safety Tether can be useful. Sadly, I mean, they should have really made this into safety net. If they made this to safety net, then it's gonna be so good. Sadly, it's only Ender to the user, so that kinda sucks. But still, it can be useful. At 3 out of 5, you get Flag Baron 9. You have more buff, which is nice. I don't recommend taking this for Gauntlet because you're gonna max out your attack eventually, but for like Champion Stadium, this is pretty good. You can quickly buff yourself as well. And not only that, it says that when the user's Pokemon uses a move, so basically Protect and Topsy Turvy is included as well because both are Pokemon's move. Next up is Team Shot Entry 1, you can plus 1 crit to the entire team, kinda whatever. Also kinda depends on who is your teammate. If your teammate can only plus 2 crit, yeah, sure. Topsy Turvy, Propulsion 4, 50% chance to minus 1 single countdown. It's fine, but you know, it's only 50% attack energy, so not really. Bamboozling Retaliation 9, basically minus 1 special defense every time your opponent hits you, so you can debuff your opponent's special defense, kinda whatever, because you're probably gonna run her more with physical striker, physical damage dealer, which means that this armoring Retaliation 9 is more useful because instead of debuffing special defense, you debuff defense. Also Team Fist Bomb 3, pretty good, it's 40%. 40% is a decent chance. You can heal every time you use Brick Break. Yeah, Impervious, really good for Legendary Arena. Team Fist Bomb 3 is also good for Legendary Arena. For long battles where survivability is very important. Impervious, important because a lot of Legendary Arena has a lot of debuff moves, right? Like Defense Crush, Mind Games, all that stuff. Impervious is definitely good for them. Single Reload line, this is also pretty good. Right, you can use Protect first turn, and then you sync, and then you get another Protect back. Pretty good. Even better if you have 6-side EX, obviously. So that was 3 builds to show you guys. If I'm being honest, it's quite difficult to make a grid for her because you can do quite a lot of stuff with her. So just take my grid examples as like a reference. You can change it depending on your playstyle or something. First one will be Legendary Gauntlet. For engine glory, like I said previously, Team Feast Bomb 3 and Impervious are definitely a must take. Right, already explained why, I don't have to explain again. Then you also have this one. This one is pretty much a must take for every single grid because being able to deal with opponent's defense is pretty useful, right? And you also have single sync reload 9 for NPR for the protect, right? Or like I said, you can change it. You can change it to first aid 4 for more survivability if you want. Up to you. But yeah, this is just a reference for you. This is how we have Champion Stadium. We have Flag Bearer 9 this time for some extra attack buff, right? So you get buff quicker during Champion Stadium, which is typically a shorter battle, right? And you also have first aid 4 for some survivability to tank a bit. Next one is special defense debuff. I do not recommend this at all. Like I said, you typically want to run her with physical damage dealers. So yeah, but then you can probably work, right? First aid 4, single sync reload 9, so you can, like I said, change this to Impervious or something if you want. Depends on like, the stage and your playstyle. So should you summon Hilda and Grapploct? Yes and no. So yes, because you can do quite a lot of stuff. You can tank, you can max defense with NPR at 2 out of 5. Protect, Topsy-Turvy, 2 new moves, right? Can be fun to use. Attack, yeah, some attack buff. You can heal and you can debuff defense. And also special defense, but that's not really that useful, like I said before. No, because Jotra Master Fair is still here. The anniversary is coming very soon. If you plan to get her, what move level should you aim? Personally, I think 2 out of 5 is the bare minimum you should have her. 1 out of 5 is fine, but like, it's just not good enough, right? 1 out of 5, you can't do much. 2 out of 5, you have NPR. This is really good to max defense with defense, so she can really be a good tank and defense with defense support, like both your team's bulkiness. Now first aid 4, for some healing, you can endure to yourself. You can also have some flinch. 3 out of 5, I would, I think 3 out of 5 would be like really good. 3 out of 5 is really good because you can get more attack buff. You can plus some crit to team, defense debuff, you're impervious, you can restore MP after first sync. Yeah, I think 3 out of 5 is good. Really good. But 2 out of 5 should be the bare minimum you should have.